Good afternoon, my fellow monks, and welcome back to another video with the Monkey Something Sensei. And today, I am wearing my lumberjack shirt. I have my skater boy hat because I'm going to be doing an unboxing / review for you guys of one of my personal favorite albums of all time. I finally got this album in after waiting to grab it for so long. I've been buying other CDs, other packages here and there, and this kind of fell by the wayside, if you will. But finally in my possession. It has a Holy Grail concert that a lot of fans of this band have been waiting to get for years and years. And without further ado, that album is Moving Pictures by Rush, and it is the 40th anniversary edition on 3 Deluxe CD. And now I have shown off this album before in a few configurations. Here I have the 2015 vinyl reissue, as I almost drop it on the floor. Classic me. Great sounding remaster. Classic. But then I also bought, which I showed this off on the channel a little while ago, I think maybe about a year or two ago now, when it came out. But it's the Moving Pictures 40th Anniversary Edition on red vinyl. Which this copy is my favorite sounding vinyl copy. This copy is incredible. I was actually blown away by the sound quality of this. Again, Walmart exclusive. I tend not to buy Walmart exclusive pressings, but in this case, it's Rush, so I had to buy it. And real quick, I will show off the vinyl because it is gorgeous. There it is in the inner sleeve. This is when I still have my MoFi sleeves. I don't have any MoFi now. I have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ones, but I'll just trade these out for those at some point. But just look at that gorgeous red. I mean, it does not get any better than that. Finally, I have the 1997 remaster CD as well. This is a plain US version of Moving Pictures. Remastered in 1997, along with the other Rush albums that got remastered around that same time. This also is a pretty good sounding copy, but it is very loud, as is everything else that was produced in the late 90s. So there's that copy, and I also have all the other 40th anniversary editions. Besides Permanent Waves, I got the box set behind me, so if you guys want to check that out, I did do an unboxing of that one as well. And that was my favorite Rush album personally. But the funny thing is I own more copies of this than I do that one. But getting back to Moving Pictures itself, I did keep the hype sticker right here. I put it on the back because the front cover is just too good to cover it up. The back has some negative space so you can put the sticker on it. So that's why I have it on the back of this. There is some glare, so it might be hard to read that. I don't know. My camera's picking that up, my iPhone. I might need to upgrade to that iPhone 16 Pro, guys. I don't know. The camera's just not doing it. And like all the other 40th anniversary editions that have been coming out, Hugh Simon's gone back and redesigned the covers for a more modern age. And out of all the covers he's done, I think this one's my favorite. It just, to me, this is almost like a video filter that you do on Instagram. And you have the law building in the back there, but it's white. It reminded me of that scene in Harry Potter where Harry and Dumbledore are walking and it's like all white. Don't know why, but that's what that reminds me of. And you have the people moving the pictures, and you even have the guy or maybe the lady, I don't know, moving the Moving Pictures album. So it just adds to the pun of everything, and I love that. And there's the back. And you guys can see here, you have the original album remastered by Sean McGee at Abbey Road Studios for the first time on CD. Now, a little rant that I got into in my 2112 video. These albums were never remastered for CD back in 2015. Only the vinyl editions. They only came out on vinyl, essentially, those masters. But now as the 40th anniversary editions have been coming out, we've slowly been getting those mixes on CD. Because at the moment, the newest remasters on CD we have are these Sectors box sets, which I've heard are hit or miss. I don't own any of those, so I can't speak personally, but I've heard hit or miss things about it. That being said, the earliest versions you can get, or the latest versions on CD, are these 1997 remasters, which to me sound great. They're just loud. It's just the symptom of the 90s and the loudness wars, if you will. But we're finally getting a lot of these classic Rush albums on CD for the first time. And I think that's something that they need to focus on going forward, is the CD market. A lot of us Rush fans love the first 3 albums, but they're not available on CD in this form. Those mixes are on vinyl, but they're not on CD. So, my opinion, reissue archives. That's all I'm going to say. Rush Backstage, whoever, reissue archives, both on vinyl and CD. That'll remedy the problem. The first 3 albums will be put on CD, and they'll use these 2015 Sean McGee masters because these sound incredible. And I love this album to death, and I have heard the vinyl a few times, so it's probably going to sound very similar, just louder because it's on CD. But what I'm really, really happy about with this collection is the live material. The second and third disc of this package are live at, live in YYZ in 1981. It's a full show, though. Full show, unreleased. While other anniversary editions that I love just have bits and pieces of shows and songs thrown together, such as the Permanent Waves box that's behind me, this is a full show. Even the Hemispheres box set, excuse me, even the Hemispheres box set had the full Pink Pop performance minus 2112. That wasn't usable for that. So even that full show wasn't included. But with this, it's the full show. And this concert is incredible. Incredible performance. What I like about Rush at this stage in their career is that they're playing the early material with aggression, but they're also playing the more progressive material with precision. And then they play all the newer material with both. This collection is a band that's on fire this entire show. And to me, this is a beefed up version of Exit Stage Left, which I do not actually own in any format right now. I do want to get that on vinyl and the remastered CD, but I just haven't gotten around to grabbing those yet. But this is pretty much that, just a full show. And what I also enjoy about this, something to note about this show, is that the guys didn't really know they were being recorded. Exit Stage Left, that was a planned live album. They knew that going into it what was expected, a live album. But with this, it's a soundboard recording, so it sounds great. But the band is a little bit more looser here. A little more loosey-goosey, if you will. They're not really making mistakes, but they're improvising more. And it just feels more like a fun and loose experience. And especially Geddy, when he's doing the bass lines and Free Will. Oh, all you need to know about this is Free Will on here. When it gets to that solo part, yeah, enough said about that. Just incredible. And before I open up the package, let's look at the track listing for this. It opened with 2112 Overture, and then the Temple of Syrinx. Sounds great. Geddy's still somewhat hitting the high notes in that. He's not going full Banshee mode, but he's still able to get in that upper register, something that he would lose later on in the career. Again, Free Will, following that up. Powerful performance. I love that to death. Might be my favorite on here. Limelight, just incredible. Pretty much note for note on the album. And then you get Cygnus X1, Book 2, The Hemispheres, The Prelude. They're not going to play the whole thing. It's 18 minutes. They have way too many of the songs to play, but they do a good job on that. Beneath, Between, and Behind. This is one of the last times they play that song on tour. If not the last tour they play it on, I believe. And that song's always a treat, because it's a nice 2.5 minute long track, gets in and gets out. Among all the other longer tracks that Rush has, this is a nice little rare gem that they throw into this concert. And then speaking of long cuts, we get The Camera Eye, a song that wasn't really played live too much after this, until the Time Machine tour, where they played this album in its entirety for the 30th anniversary. But here it's a brand new song, so they're still kind of playing the song as they had just learned it and recorded. So it sounds really fresh and expertly crafted here, and it's just fantastic. And then YYZ, with Neil's fantastic drum solo that he does, he's just on fire here. This is before the electronic elements, and you're just playing mostly acoustic and just hitting the tubular bells and the glockenspiel, and it's just classic 70s, early 80s Neil, and I love that. And then you got Bruin's Bane, the little acoustic opening that goes into the trees. Great rendition of the trees here. Xanadu to finish off the first disc. Xanadu on here is incredible. There's some parts where it's slowed down, and there are other parts where they speed it up, and it just keeps the whole song interesting. And again, Geddy's still able to sing those upper high notes, and this is kind of the last time he would be able to do that in this time period. After this, Grace Under Pressure going forward, he wouldn't do that as much. So again, it's a treasure. And then disc 3 opens with The Spirit of Radio, another killer rendition. Just on fire here. Again, the bass work. Red Bar Cheddar. Great song. Not much to say about that. Close to the Heart. Another song they somewhat dropped from the set list off and on in their career, but it's great here. If I remember correctly, there's a little bit of a jam at the end of it. And they play Tom Sawyer, and they play Vital Signs, which I love Vital Signs on here. Tom Sawyer is great, but Vital Signs is amazing. And that goes perfectly into Natural Science, another one from Permanent Waves that they didn't really play live much until way later into their career. Till about, I think, Russian Rio might have been on that, or R30. It was on that. Or Snakes and Arrows, one of those two. But they didn't really play it that often. But it's a killer version, and I believe this is the full version. I know that some live renditions would cut out some parts, or one of the parts, and only play a shorter snippet of one of the parts. But I believe this is the full thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that goes into this awesome, badass medley. There's like 10 songs in this thing. Check it out. Working Man. And this is actually the first time they play it more reggae style. They start to stretch out their legs a little bit, play more Working Man, that reggae style, which is really funky, and it's great. And then they continue the Hemisphere suite with Armageddon, the Battle of Heart and Mind, which is that awesome, really heavy bit. And then By Turn the Snow Dog. You wouldn't think that those two songs would go well together, but they do. They blend so perfectly. And it kind of slows down with In the End. They do a couple minutes of that, and it's a great pace breaker. And then they play In the Mood. They snag that. They stick that in the medley. And In the Mood, one of my favorite early Rush songs. To me, In the Mood is Rush doing Leonard Skinner. And look, I'm not the biggest Leonard Skinner fan, but those first two albums are pretty good. But the way these guys play, I love that riff. The da-na-na-na-na-na-na. So it's so 70s and so rockin', so heavy. And I love it on here. And they end that suite, the medley, with the 2112 grand finale. And that just rocks this medley to a close, man. It's fantastic. And the whole live disc ends with La Via Strangiato. That's kind of the encore. And it's just an incredible rendition. And it's funny how they couldn't play the whole thing in one take when they were recording it. But when they play it live, they do it flawlessly. And it's incredible. And there's a little bit of improvisation thrown in there too. Just overall, just a great live show. And I cannot wait to put this on and listen to the whole thing on CD. I have a 5-disc CD changer. So I can put in all 3 discs and just run the whole thing and listen to the whole thing. The whole album and then the whole live material. So I cannot wait to throw this on and do that. I wanted to wait till I filmed this video to really dive into the album, because I just wanted to unbox it for you guys and get my little first impressions on the album, what I think about listening to it on streaming. But I'll come back and do a full review at some point when I get done with it. But this package, it opens up to be a quadruple fold CD. Now, I do like this packaging, but one thing I have to say is, where are the CDs? You can't tell where the CDs are because there's no pull tabs. Take a normal CD, for instance. Actually, you know what? Let me get one of my anniversary editions. Be right back. Prove my point. Take 2112, for instance. I just got this about a month or two ago. I unboxed this for the channel as well. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. But look. I don't want the book to fall out. But look at this. See? The discs are clearly defined. And they have pull tabs. No mystery here. And I understand plastic, bad for the environment, yada yada. But something like this, you don't know where the discs are. And yeah, you know, there's a disc poking out there, and you can tell the holes in the disc slot. But still, you know, and it's not good for the CDs. Keep sliding them in and out. You're gonna scratch them up, you know. So what you have to do is you kind of have to get them out. You somewhat have to go like this and slide them out, and then hope that they don't get scratched, or gravity doesn't take effect. But here's disc 1. I love the CDs, by the way. It's kind of like the center label of the 40th anniversary vinyl has the same camera eye artwork. It's killer. I love that. As someone who likes to take care of their things. See, I just freaking ripped it. I just ripped it. Ah. Yeah, there's CD 2, by the way. Here's disc 3. Anyway, here's the book that comes with it. Some more alternate artwork by Hugh Syme. I love the back of this, by the way. The back really touches my heart. You see how it says 3, but then the 3 is fading into a 2? That's a subtle reference to Neil no longer being with us. So the 3 is fading into the 2. So symbolic and heartwarming. I love that. And there's a 40 for moving pictures, 40s. And I love the motif here of the popcorn and the moving pictures and the whole movie thing. The motif is just incredible how Hugh Simon and the guys are able to pull this off. And a lot of these pages go into the writing of the album, the recording, the reception. No lyrics though, I don't think, so I can't do that whole spiel again. But here's some awesome photos of Les Studio, them recording in Les Studio, which unfortunately got demolished years ago. It's a sad thing that they couldn't bring it. They couldn't bring it back. They couldn't revive it. But here's a photo, and every song has its own artwork by Hugh Simon. So this is Tom Sawyer. It's got the kid doing his own thing on the fence. Red Barchetta, which is probably my favorites, reminds me of the New England autumn. There's the car with the farmhouse that his uncle owns, with the leaves changing. It's just amazing. And then YYZ with the plane, and you have the witch flying on there. I guess it's a little bit of a subtle nod to Witch Hunt too. But you have the YYZ, the Canadian code for the airlines. And then you have the camera eye, which is, or no, not camera eye, limelight. Camera eye is right here. This is limelight. You have all the animals. Yeah, you have the monkey, and you have the light beaming down on them, kind of showing the oppressiveness of fame. And then this is the camera eye, which is literally an eye that looks like a camera. So self-explanatory there. And then we get Witch Hunt, which this one's really striking artwork. Love the artwork. This one is so Halloween. And what's it, like September 17th as I'm filming this? So we're getting close to that spooky season. And then we got Vital Signs, which I didn't get this one at first, but then if you listen to the song, and there's a line on there that says deviate from the norm. The norm. And that's what they're doing here. These animals are deviating from the norm. They're not in the jungle, they are in the city. And then here you have all post-album credits, some ticket stubs, backstage pass, all that cool stuff. An awesome photo of the guys on the stairs. I love that shot. See right here where I ripped it, just slightly. It's not bad. I'm not going to return it or anything. It was my fault. But yeah, that's right there shows you why they shouldn't make CDs like this. Bring back the pull tabs and the plastic trays, not this crap. And I will say, it is smaller than I thought it would be. Look at the spine, so small. Look at this. Look at the 2112 edition. And if you notice, all the other editions, they get smaller and smaller and smaller. I don't have the permanent wage one, but I can imagine it's not much bigger than this, if not the same size. And I know that doesn't have a DVD or anything with it, and neither does this. But one thing I would like to note, though, is if there's a Japanese version out there, it's a little more expensive. But the Japanese edition that has a DVD with it, that has the videos for Tom Sawyer and I believe a couple other music. I have all the music videos and some other little nuggets on there, but there is a DVD version out there, but it's Japanese only, which is the only place you can get the Signals 40th Anniversary Edition if you want just a single CD. But that's a rant for another day. But that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed my little unboxing / mini review of Rush's Moving Pictures 40th Anniversary Edition. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like down below. It always helps the channel out. And if you can, make sure to swing on over to that subscribe button to join our Musical Monk family. And slap that notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload a new video to the channel. Don't forget to listen to Rush and not break your CD case. And for all my fellow monks out there, don't forget to keep spinning those discs.